All right, welcome back. Intro to Programming for Business Majors. Let me level this out. Part week 2. This is the third video, the final video for week 2, thankfully. Let's go ahead. Let's pop over to the lecture slides and keep going. All right, so from part 1, we discussed the following main topics: the parts of a Java program, print versus print line methods, and how they are kind of part of the Java API, variables and literals, primitive data types. We're going to discuss the following topics now: arithmetic operators, combined assignment operators, conversion between primitive data types, and being named constants, creating named constants with final. Okay. Start with variable assignment and initialization. In order to store a variable value in a variable, an assignment statement has to be used. The assignment operator is the equal sign. The operand to the left of the assignment operator must be the variable name. The operand to the right is either the literal or an expression that evaluates to a type that is compatible with the type of variable. See if we can find an example of that here. So when they say expression, we could sit there and say, hold on, enable editing real quick here. Sorry, got a glitch in the matrix. But so when they said the literal, so we go back up here and they're saying that it can be either a literal or an expression that evaluates. So the literal is here. You know, I have month is 2, days 28. If I had it 2 times 8, for whatever reason I wanted to, you know, that would be an expression. That's going to evaluate to 16, but I can't do a string thing with it because the month has been assigned as an integer. So even your expression has to result in the data type you've assigned the variable. Okay. Anyway, so let's start off here with this is a basic program. Again, here's our public class, our main method, and we're going to start by int. We're going to say we have 2 variables, month and day, and they're both integers. Okay. Once declared, they can receive the value, their initialization. However, this value must be compatible with the variable's declared type, so it has to be an integer. I can't make this B, or I can't say month is February. After receiving the value, the variables can be used in output statements or other calculations. Local variables can be declared and initialized on the same line here. So I could have skipped it and just put int month equals 2, days equal 28 in one line up top. Variables can only hold one value at a time. Local variables do not receive a default value. Local variables must have a valid type in order to be used. And when it can only hold one value at a time, but they can have the value changed. So just because you give it a value once in the program doesn't mean you can't change it. Trying to use uninitialized variables will generate a syntax error code when the code is compiled. It's going to basically say, I'm passing variables that have no value. So it's like I'm just giving you an empty folder at that point. It makes no sense. All right, so here's the basic arithmetic operators we use here in programming. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I'm sure you're all aware of this. Modulus is different. Modulus is a remainder. So if I said a value to modulus 5 and this value was 11, so 11 divided by 5 will return 2, right? Is 5 would be but you'd have 1 left over. So 2 times 5 is 10, so you'd have actually 1 left over, 11. So your remainder would be 1. It's the most common use I have for using modulus is like trying to determine if a number is positive, odd or even. I just modulus it by 2. If it's even, like 4 modulus 2 will come back as 0 because there's nothing left over. Because 2 times 2 equals 4. But 5 modulus 2 comes back as 1 because 2 times 2 equals 4 and there's still 1 left over. So if I get a 1, I know my number is odd. So that's what modulus is. Like I say, that's probably the only one you guys haven't seen before. The rest, it's basic arithmetic. Operators are called binary operators because they have 2 operands. Each operator must have a left and a right operand. Arithmetic operators work as one would expect. It is an error to try to divide any number by 0, and when working with two integer operands, the division operator requires special attention to make sure you do not divide by 0. Division can be tricky in Java program. What is the value of 1 divided by 2? You might think the answer is 0.5, but the answer is 0. Integer division will truncate any decimal remainder. Mathematical expressions can be very complex. There is a set order in which arithmetic operators will be carried out. Negation, associate right to left. The highest priority is negation. So if something has been given a negative value, it'll be the highest priority. Okay. After that, you're going to have multiplication, division, and modulus. And they go right to left. And they don't go in the order of the multiplication first and the modulus. All of them in order first. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to modulus this, multiply times 13. And then it's going to be, the result of this mess will be added to -4, then finally added to 2. So it would be 1, modulus of this would be 1 times 13, so that's 13, minus 4, bring us to 9, plus 2 takes us to 11. And then left to right with the addition and subtraction. Notice the minus is not a negative. Negation, notice there's no space in negation. So in this one, you'd have 6 times 3 be first, and 6 times 3 is 24. And then you'd have 9 minus 4 would be 5. 5 plus what? Can't multiply today. So that's 6. 12 plus, that's 18. I'm an idiot. 18. So it's 9 minus 4, 5 plus 18 is 23. Sorry. But this is just the order of the operations you put in. You can group with parentheses. Parentheses will make things put you at a higher level. When parentheses are used in expression, the innermost parentheses is processed first. So you would do, even though this is a division, you'd still do the subtraction first. It'd be 1, 2. We always go left to right here. I'm curious if I go over to places like Israel or the Middle East where they write right to left. I'm curious if they do their operations differently. Order of operations, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I guess I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure if I heard it that way. But anyway, so parentheses, then exponent. Sorry, my brain shot. So, you're multiplying 10 to the 5th, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Okay, you can look at tables 210, 211 on page 59. Java has some combined assignment operators. These operators allow a programmer to perform an arithmetic operation in an assignment with a single operator. Although not required, these operators are popular since they shorten simple equations. Combined operators, you would just say plus equals just 5. That would tell you, basically it's telling you whatever the value of x is, add 5 to it. I use this a lot in loops and stuff. Same thing, we're counting backwards on this, multiplying times, dividing, and modulusing the value that's already there. So it just saves you the step of doing this. And this you see a lot in looping, these two right here especially. Java is a strongly typed language. Not all assignment statements that mix data types are rejected by the compiler. For example, int x short equals 2, x equals y is okay because int is bigger than a short and there is no lost value. Data type ranking, double, float, long, int, short, byte. Java will automatically convert a lower ranked value to a higher ranked. This is called widening conversion. Narrowing conversion is the conversion of a value to a lower ranked type, a double to an int. Java will error unless you use a cast operator. Cast operators are unary operators. They appear as a data type name enclosed in a set of parentheses. For example, if the number were a floating point variable and x were an int. you would put the int in front of there. That tells it to cast. Returns the value of a number converted to an int and stores it in X. If the number were a double or a float, a fractional part of the number is lost. Mixed integer operations. The results of an arithmetic operation using only a mixture of byte short and int values will always be an int. The compiler will error if this rule is not followed. So for example, C, A plus B. If A and B are short, C must be an int. Other mixed operators will be a double, and the value of other operands will be converted to a double. If one of the operands is a float, and the value of the other operand will be converted to a float. If one of the operands is long, the value of the other operand will be converted to a long. Creating constants. Many programs have data that does not need to be changed. Littering programs with literal values can make the program too hard to read and maintain. Replacing literal values with constant remedies this problem. Constants allow the programmers to use a name rather than a value throughout the program. Constants are given singular point value for changing those values when needed. Constants keep the program organized and easier to maintain. Constants are identifiers that can only hold a single value. Constants are declared using the keyword final. Constants need not be initialized when declared. However, they must be initialized before they are used, or a compiler will error out in general. So once initialized with a value, constants cannot be changed. By convention, constants are all uppercase and words are separated by the underscore. This is a convention. This is not a rule you have to follow. It's not a code rule. So we have final, then we say it's an integer, sales tax .75. And I'm gonna have to read. This makes no sense to me because this is a point. This would come back as 0 if you gave it final int 0.75. I'm assuming this is a typo within the code. Yeah, because this would actually result as 0. So if you wanted this, you would make this final double, and then California sales tax. All right. Okay, that's it for this week. Look forward to seeing you guys next week in class. Thank you very much.